I did. Like, my mom took me to TRL when Eminem was on for 8 Mile and listened to hip hop. And
for some reason, I thought you'd be a really good student.
Yeah,
like you were like
the
good kid in class, and like the teachers loved you.
Which is something that Gary, we talked about, is like it's like a rubber band. It's like if you take just like a brand new fresh rubber band out of a pack and you try to pull it super like wide, it'll kind of break.
Yep.
But if you slowly just like spread it a little bit, warm it up, it can kind of then expand bigger in a lot of ways.
Probably 5 books I've read in my life. 4 of those are probably Harry Potter's. And one of those was Atomic Habits. Mm-hmm. And I really think that stacking up your habits is a real thing. I always say this, that the process is only as good as humans, because the process is being followed by humans. So humans will find a way to not follow process if they want to.
Best stuff starts from the chaos, and then you have to put order around it. And then when it becomes all about the order,
challenge,
then you have to break it, because then everyone just plays towards the order.
Like just the way that you're obsessed with Paul Pogba, I'm obsessed with Kim Kardashian. The person that I have on this podcast is probably one of the most holistic, culturally aware person that I've met in my life over the last 20 years, since I'm aware of what that even means. His understanding of the different nuances, different cultural relevances, different cultures, and different sports, different personalities, different humans, different genres is unmatched in my opinion, and he does it with so much grace. I almost think and we'll talk more about this, but like I think he was like the good kid in school, but I don't know, but it seems like that. But the way he rolls, the way you interact with him every day, you'll see a very flamboyant extrovert out there, but when he's in thoughtful conversations with you, you can see how deep his understanding of different nuances in life are. And he's a hard worker. He really knows what it is to put your head down and really grind and work hard and get the results. And sometimes you do not realize that he's in the room when he's just being a sponge and listening. And the other times you can't miss him in a room because he's the most extroverted person driving the room, and he balances those two in a really good way that I think is something that we all can learn from him. And this is the person that I'm talking about is Tyler Schmitt.
I'm Tyler Schmitt, and this is episode 10 of the Whitespace pod. That was very nice, Sid. Thank you for that.
Like I told you, didn't prep it.
That was very nice. I love that.
From the heart.
This is good stuff you got going on here.
Excited about this.
Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. The way that I started the podcast is asking you about you as a kid and how that makes you who you are today. Like, what are the things that you would actually see are the common themes, like what you remember yourself as a kid as to the person that you are today?
Pop culture for sure. Like of late, I was born in 91. So kind of like back late 90s, early 2000s was kind of where I was really enthralled by a lot of things. Not, Pokemon and Harry Potter I talk about came out 99, pretty much hit the States in like the same kind of 18-month span. I was a big Harry Potter head, big Pokemon fan, Nickelodeon, cereal. I grew up in northern New Jersey. So just like a lot of like, I would say like consumer music. I was driving out Route 46 in Jersey yesterday on Saturday to a card shop opening and like buying CDs, video games, huge thing. A lot of it was like family, whether it was my parents were both cool, like in my opinion, like they remained young, I would say, like even as parents and adults. They enjoyed the things just as much as I did. Like my mom took me to TRL when Eminem was on for 8 Mile and listened to hip hop. And, I remember summers like at the pool club and, they were active athletically. And my dad is one of 9. So I had a lot of cousins all in the same vicinity and area. So while I was a middle child, I had an older sister. I have an older sister and a younger sister. But a lot of like I had a lot of big brothers in the form of cousins. I was the youngest cousin. So I looked up to like my older cousins who were also very cool and just put me on the game in a lot of ways. But like, you know, going to Foot Locker, getting the sneaker release, you know, middle school, both my dad and my mom like kept me hip to things in a lot of ways.
That's cool.
And like they enjoyed that as parents. So like I was just, whether it was technology, like my dad was interested in it. So I remember getting Dell computer early on, and then like we played a lot of Sims and we played a lot of Roller Coaster Tycoon. And I remember Best Buy opening and going out there, and then, you know, like PlayStation 2, the internet. My mom used eBay a lot early on.
Yeah?
Yeah. Mainly buying like Royal Copenhagen China, buying things from Europe, because she spent a lot of time. Her parents are foreign. She was born here. But she would spend her summers over in Denmark and Europe. So like early internet, we had eBay early on and that. And then we traveled a lot, but both overseas, but also within the country, which I thought was really cool. And then my dad had younger brothers, so like I even had uncles, and we all just like kind of really looked out for each other in a lot of ways. But a lot of like Americana sports, played a lot of travel soccer, played a lot of Little League baseball, lacrosse. And then I grew up on a cul-de-sac. I grew up on a dead-end street, and our house was kind of at the end. My house was always the place that had the friends over, and we were always, you know, hanging outside or playing basketball in the driveway in middle school. So like I always had a lot of friends around, and my house was always a place where friends would hang out. And I mean, I'd come home, like sometimes my friends would be in my house, I didn't even know it, and I'd come home and they'd be there in ways.
That's cool.
My parents always had people over. And then just like growing up in a town where my father grew up and his brothers and sisters all grew up. So my high school, I think all 9 of my dad's brothers and sisters went to that high school as well. And that led to like I just couldn't go anywhere in town without people kind of knowing who I was in ways. And I think all of those things equate to like me now, or at least the previous 10 years through work in a lot of ways. I also worked pretty much starting freshman year of high school. I started working in restaurants, and I had some for one person, this guy Raymond. He has 2 restaurants. He had one really well-known restaurant in Montclair called Raymond's, and then opened another in Ridgewood. And he was really sharp, and it was like he kind of modeled Raymond's, I think, after like Balthazar. And so he was a really culturally like tuned in person. So he was my first boss. He taught me a lot about like hospitality and service. So I brought that to like how I worked for Gary in a lot of ways. And then also just because my upbringing was like I knew everyone, and my parents really drilled into me, like I was always hanging out with older people and being forced to converse with older people in a lot of ways. I think that led to a lot of who I am now and the work that I've done and how I've engaged with a lot of people over time.
That's interesting. First of all, that makes so much sense. Like just how aware you are of so many different things. Like it's just conversations and just the exposure that you had internally itself. But like what's interesting about that is I would expect someone who grew up in this kind of environment where like you knew everyone and like wherever you went, you just knew everyone all the time. Like you would end up being someone who's comfortable with known spaces. Like you're not really good with going into the unknown, you know, like you feel more comfortable being in a, like almost like ending up being an introvert because you're just like, you like being in your comfort zone. So like, why do you think you're definitely not that? Yeah. I know that.
Yeah. Well, I think it's the opposite. One of the things I'm thinking about, like, and also is, my dad was one of 9, and, you know, they grew up like very much within their means. And so you kind of take what you get. And I think that you find ways to assimilate in a lot of ways. And I think that I was also the middle boy with an older sister and a younger sister. So it's kind of like you're always, all right, what are we doing? All right, I'm down for that. There's not much time and place to be like, I'm not very like this is how I see it, this is how I want it, this is how it's going to be. I'm kind of like, all right, this is the situation. I'll make do. Like I'm good in a lot of ways, to a fault maybe at times. But yeah, I think that, I was reading something about like salespeople. I think I am introverted.
You are?
Yeah, I think I am very introverted.
I would not have guessed that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just try not, like I'm very uncomfortable in places that I don't want to be. Like I do, yeah. But when I'm in places that I like to be or with people that like I get energy from, then it's like the best.
Yeah. So I see the two sides of it. That makes so much sense. Yeah.
I'm also a Gemini, so it's like dual personalities.
Respect.
But yeah, it's I've been even I think realizing that more and more. Like I definitely like to protect my peace, but I can either be like very much firing on all cylinders or like I'm good.
I know a lot of extroverted people that like doing that as well. Like it's just like I feel like that concept's a little misunderstood sometimes. It's like extroverted people don't need their me time. That's not true.
Yeah.
And so they find their own versions of that, but it's not something that's like, it's not a black and white situation kind of. What did you actually go to school for? Like what?
Hospitality, hotel, restaurant management. Yeah.
And why was that?
Okay, why was that? Well, my freshman year at Penn State, I was a terrible student.
For some reason, I thought you'd be a really good student.
Yeah,
like you were like
the
good kid in class, and like the teachers loved you.
Well, the teachers always loved me. That was always my game. Like just make a relationship with the teacher and force them into not failing me, more or less.
Smart.
Yeah, like school to me was very much a game in that regard. But I just didn't have much like direction. Like I went to Penn State. I knew I wanted to go to Penn State. That's the only thing I wanted to go and do. And I figured I'd get a business degree, and I didn't get into the business school, so I was undecided, and nothing was really piquing my interest. And then I came across and found out about the hotel restaurant management degree, which I was very then intrigued by. It's applied business. It's essentially a business degree with applied to hospitality. But I grew up in restaurants, and I loved, just based on traveling and how my house was ran and everything, like I like hospitality and I like being of service. And then I was really like, I did really well in school once I had a very clear focus. I think that's how I am a lot of times in life when I'm given a task or something that is very clear, like I can like go at speed and pace and figure out how to make it all work. When it's kind of like just, you're just slogging along and without clear direction, whether that's like as an employee, because pretty much you're told what to do and where you bring value. And if it's ambiguous, maybe I have a little bit of a tougher time. But once I landed on my major, I was like super like locked in because I was intrigued by it and I understood what I needed to do to navigate and get out of it what I wanted.
That's cool.
So that was a lot of fun. And I'm also someone that the busier I am, the more I can do.
Yeah.
The more I have to accomplish, the more I can do. Which is something that Gary, we talked about as like it's like a rubber band. It's like if you take just like a brand new fresh rubber band out of a pack and you try to pull it super like wide, it'll kind of break.
Yep.
But if you slowly just like spread it a little bit, warm it up, it can kind of then expand bigger in a lot of ways. And I think humans are like that. And we tend to be like that. It's how I think about like starting new habits or starting new things is I try not to like overcommit or like really dive like my life's going to change or like, but like slowly, incrementally, almost like trick or fool myself into it becoming a full-time habit. It's like take the gym, for example, or something. It's like you have to kind of like taste it and like trick yourself into really enjoying it.
Yeah.
Versus if I think you just start like 100% and say like, oh, it has to be that way, any sort of dip might discourage you.
Yeah. There's probably 5 books I've read in my life. 4 of those are probably Harry Potter's. And one of those was Atomic Habits.
Mm-hmm.
And I really think that stacking up your habits is a real thing where like you do one thing right after you do another thing, and then you do another thing, and then it's like you do all those 3 things, but you enjoy one of those. So then you have to do all 3. And to me, that was like, that has always worked for me. It's like, I only listen to Manchester United podcasts when I'm working out. Because that's like my thing is like, I have to do that to do that. And then it just helps. That's how I started running when I was, if you remember, I did the 10K ones just out of the blue.
Yep.
That was because of that. And things like that is just like stacking up your habits.
Yep.
And I think it's similar to what you're saying is like, just, you can't make the change overnight. This is the 5-day water fast that I've just started. We'll see if I'm here on day 5.
Yeah.
But it's the same way I just told you. I'm like, I'm going to try 5. Let's see where I get.
Yeah.
It's not a binary situation of like happened or not. It's just, let's try it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So when you're focusing on doing a lot, like what is your process of prioritization? Because you're saying you thrive in a lot. So then how do you decide what to attack first?
I think it's rapid like reprioritization. Like I used to talk more like I think processes and systems are good up until they take more precedent than the actual thing that they're doing.
100%.
You know, you manage a team. It's like, okay, we have to get to this outcome. The videos need to perform better, or we want this thing to happen. And then you put like a system and process in place to get to that outcome, you know, and then you really have to like get everyone on board and build the habits so that everyone's using the process and system. But there becomes an inflection point of like, all of a sudden someone will start talking about the process and system, adhering to that being more important than the thing that it's supposed to be doing for you.
Yep.
And I think that happens in large corporations and people set these rules in their life. That's something that I've always tried to like stay on top of. So like it's just like how can you be as present as possible and attack the thing that is most important? That's
so real. Like I always say this, that the process is only as good as humans, because the process is being followed by humans. So humans will find a way to not follow process if they want to, right? That's one. And then second, whenever you have something that's super important, top priority, like how would you do it if today was day 1? That's the best way to do it. It's not the process way, because process is important. When you have, and in our case, like Team Gary, like we have 30 people working globally. Like there is no way that you can manage 1,500 assets a month without having a process. Process is important, but to your point, it should never take precedence over making the best content, because that's really our job. Our job is not to have the project management system in the perfect space or having the most lines in Excel sheets. It's to make the best content. And anything that gets in the way of that, that's not a good process. And process is supposed to make it easier, but never, to your point, like never slow you down. And the moment it starts happening, then you know the process is flawed. Because there always has to be, and the way that I always say it on Team Gary is like there's a breaking news version. When breaking news happens, there is no process. It's like we go. You know, and that's breaking news is.
And you get it done.
Get it done.
And then sometimes you come out of that and you realize, why don't we just do that every time?
Yes and no. Because when you do it every time, then there's more chaos, and then you have to build a new system. Like there's always going to be versions of that, but never at the expense of the
that's
effort,
like
to your point.
So much of like how I think about all the stuff that we've worked on together over the years is like the best stuff starts from the chaos, and then you have to put order around it. And then when it becomes all about the order,
all in challenge,
then you have to break it, because then everyone just plays towards the order.
Yes.
And it's like, what are we doing? We've lost the plot.
the North Star should always be the best output.
Yeah.
Not the.
And you always have to revisit or like I think about it in sports.
Yeah. Love this segue.
It's like, you can practice and you can have your habits and as a team, ways to build up. But like through the journey of a season, like so you have to keep introducing new things to keep fresh play styles
injuries,
or
different.
Yeah. Or just like the fatigue of doing the same shit over and over.
Because then you'll get caught out.
Yeah. And the best teams like always have to have this like fresh moment and momentum. You know what I mean? Like there's never a good loss, but also like you can't just rely on the same thing over and over and over and over and over again, because someone will then be fresh and new and come and knock you off of that.
So true. On sports. How did you get into so many sports? Like, first of all, how do you have the time to keep up with so many sports? And two, how did you get into like sports as a habit? Like, it's almost part of your lifestyle now.
Yeah.
Like, you can't live without it. Like, now that I don't know how long you've been playing golf, but that's a new thing you've added to your life, in my opinion. Because I don't think you played when we met first. Yeah. So like, you're just.
Yeah. I know. I always played golf. I started playing golf at a young age. It was something I would play with like my grandfather and my dad. We'd go out to like Francis Burn. But I was never like, to me, sports was always about something more. And I would never want to take sports out of my life. And hopefully if I have kids and they're healthy or not healthy, like I would want them to do sports, because you learn, I think, so much. And from so many different sports you learn about. But I also have this whole theory about modern day approach to things, which is like,
let's talk about it.
All messed up. And I was just looking at this video of like Ajax practicing in the 1960s and how they were building up their athletes. But I guess what I was to say is like community, relationships, learning how to be part of something bigger, understanding how to either be a leader or like be a servant to a leader, and understanding where sometimes your leadership may call for different things, being on the front or being in behind, using your voice or being silent. But I was always around sports. My family were coaches. So like my family was big into lacrosse. My grandfather started the youth program in Montclair in the 70s and 80s. Montclair was one of the top like high school teams in the country. My father and his brothers all played lacrosse. And so I grew up around it. My uncles and my dad were always my coaches in lacrosse. And also my uncle was my high school lacrosse coach. So I was just always around like coach and coaching and like sports in that regard. But it was never taken too seriously. Which at some points I'm like, I wish it was a little bit. But like I played travel soccer. But like sometimes my dad would be like, we're not going to that game. Like it's like 2 hours away and it's fucking raining. And like there was never just like, there was always reality also in play in some ways, if that makes sense. And I just love them. Now for me, it's like, I can't stand reality TV. It breaks my brain. Like that and TikTok, like I really have a disdain for in a lot of ways.
Wait, you don't scroll through TikTok?
No.
No. Completely.
I use Instagram, and I'm not saying I have the habits that I'm making fun of.
Yeah.
But there's something about the sounds in TikTok that are very triggering to me.
Got it.
When I scroll on Instagram, I use no volume. And again, it's not bad. It's dopamine.
Yeah.
But like the TikTok sound scrolling, like I don't use TikTok. I don't go on TikTok. I should be posting content on TikTok, but I don't use TikTok. And it's not because I'm like against it. I'm just thankful it hasn't cracked into my habits. I use Instagram in the same way that I would say people use TikTok. I just think there's a little bit something more in there that's cooking people. And I don't like reality TV, but the same people could say the same because I think sports is just like unscripted drama at the highest form. Like it's just like narrative and storytelling, and it's unscripted, so it's the best. You never know what can happen. I had really strong opinions about these things as well. And then one day, Jonathan and I was sitting and we were chatting about this. And like, she's like, just the way that you're obsessed with Paul Pogba, I'm obsessed with Kim Kardashian. Yeah,
it's the same thing.
Yeah,
you have your storyline that you think and are obsessed about a sports club. I'm obsessed about another human, and that's how it is. Yeah, and I was like, yeah, that makes so much sense. Like to me, it was like, I don't want to watch Keeping Up with the Kardashians, but then I'm like sitting Saturday for 2 hours watching Manchester United just play a game of soccer, and like, I obsess over it equally. And then I'm looking at the post-match analysis. Yeah. Like that's my life. Yeah. And this is her version of what she likes. And like I was like, that's so interesting because you don't think about it that way. You're like, they're different. Yeah. You know, you almost like think of sports as like, oh, that's real. Yeah. And that's like, but is it?
But
like,
I have this so like much very more real duality around it because, so I am a huge Penn State football fan. And everyone will have jokes about Penn State and Sandusky and Joe Pa and all that. But like growing up with my uncles and with my dad, like I did not wear sports jerseys. And I definitely didn't wear sports jerseys with people's names on the back. And it was like a thing. It was like, you're not going to go.
It was like a family thing or just you?
Yeah, it was a family thing. And it was because my uncles would like make fun of me of like, you're just going to wear another dude's name on your back. Like, that's weird. But Penn State didn't have names on the back of their jerseys. And it was just like the color and the thing, right? And even then it was college, whereas at the time, college wasn't seen as much of like commercialized. Now it's like all incredibly commercialized and all that. And I had a Lingard jersey, but I still feel slightly weird when I wear sports jerseys. Yeah. Yeah, because you're a product of like you're paying to market someone else's business.
Never thought of it like that.
Right? Uh-huh. And at the end of the day, they really don't care about you.
But isn't that like every brand out there?
In a lot of ways.
Right?
Yeah, in a lot of ways.
Like,
yeah, which is why I try to be like, this is a good friend of mine.
Yeah.
And like, but I'm also realizing like, there's certain times like people will see me and be like, oh, bullshit, you're saying this, but it's bullshit. Uh-huh. I don't know. There's just like subtleties and nuances.
Yeah.
But like, wearing brands in general, and that's where like I think today is like harder than ever, but more important, like you have to connect with the people because you have to realize these people are paying to remarket your stuff, which is the brilliant thing about luxury and identity. Like people that are wearing Dior, like you're paying that much to remarket to other people.
Yeah.
You know?
I never thought of it like that.
So I wasn't really like, I didn't wear sports jerseys, and I still am like, I would rather wear like a random, like my favorite Jets thing that I wear is this like baseball like jersey that says Jets on it. That was like from Etsy or someone. And it's like, okay, I'm supporting someone that's like making this thing. But then there's definitely times where I'm like, ooh, that's a nice piece. I'm going to like have it because it's identity and you communicate with other people. Someone's walking down the street. Oh, I see they're a Jet fan. I know a little bit about them. And that's all of like, Gary, we talk about clothing as communication. Yeah. But I think at least if you're aware of it, it's important. And so as much as I care about sports and love sports, equally, there's parts of it that I'm like, I can't. And it's cyclical. Like I'm less NFL, but I like NFL and I dabble in these things because it helps me relate. Proper football, soccer, I love the most. I think it's a very soothing thing to watch. And like takes my mind off, and I can watch anything. I also, my dad, weird, and people will be like, "This is weird," but the main thing he brought me up was a Penn State football fan and a Yankee fan, and the Yankees were really good. And he would always say, "I just want a good game. I just want a good game." So like when they would be in the World Series, it was always like, "I want Game 7." Now a lot of people's mindset would be like, "I want them to sweep them 4-0 and beat the brakes off of them." But he would be like, no, like we're going to a Yankee game. I hope it just comes down to the 9th inning. Traditional mindset would be like, let's kill them 15-0. You know, and why even Cammie, my fiance, asked me, like, I was up watching Liverpool-Everton. Like, I like watching Liverpool right now. I'm a United fan. And people are like, you're a fake fan. And I'm like, I just enjoy the, like,
I think you were just rooting for Everton.
I get lost in the over-caring of it all. But I really enjoy talking about it.
Got it. I don't think I would ever say it like that. Like, I do not think I want to watch a Liverpool game unless I'm watching it because I want them to lose. I don't think I don't think I'm watching it because it's beautiful. No. However much Jurgen Klopp was really good at what he did, I've never appreciated him as a manager while he was at Liverpool. But now he's awesome.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, like I really don't have...
Just like that's my version of sports for me. Because for me, it was never... It doesn't matter. It matters to me. To me, like while playing, watching everything, like it's the one place where I'm like really, I pick sides. I'm very neutral in a lot of things in life, in my opinion. But when I have an opinion on things, I obviously voice it. But like, I'll change my mind. But like sports, I'm like.
Growing up, my mom would, like, if I got mad about like a loss, my mom would like be mad at me.
Yeah.
Yeah. She'd be like, what, you care that much? Like, that's important to you that much? Like, get over it.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I think for me, that's like, it's still a thing. Like, I can have a bad day if United's not having a good day.
Yeah.
And
Penn State losing to Notre Dame was like pretty tough, and I was pissed about it for a while. And I would say that I have strong disdain, and I use the word disdain because my mom would always say, like, hate is a powerful word. You don't say the word hate. Mm-hmm. But like I hate Notre Dame football and Boston Red Sox. But even then, I'm like, I would probably like to beat them. Like, I want Notre Dame to win every game until we play them. They're 0-2 right now. That makes me sad because I want them to be good so that we can be the one to beat them.
Respect.
So, but and I also like to it's like, you know, jack of all trades, master of none.
Yeah.
I can talk about a lot of sports. I can engage in them in a wide variety. And there's certain areas I try to like keep tabs on. Like I'm following Marseille Football Club a lot right now because Mason Greenwood's there, as well as Timothy Weah, our friend and American player. They just beat PSG today, 1-0.
Yeah?
Yep.
I can see that.
And so like I just like I'm like, okay, there's something interesting happening with Marseille, I believe. Champions League, I think they're going to have a good side. And like, I'll follow them. Then that allows me to go into a conversation and speak about a topic that seemingly is very deep. But the main thing that people would know about, I'm like, not too sure on.
Love that. But that's the whole fun about it, is like, it's conversations. It's like,
it's a way to connect with people.
Yeah. All right, Ronaldo or Messi?
Someone asked me this yesterday. And like, because of all the juice on Messi right now, I actually think it's Ronaldo.
But you were Messi before? Like, you think Lionel Messi is a better player than Cristiano Ronaldo?
I don't think I would take both. They're different.
They're who different, wouldn't, right?
Like, so like, I don't know. Who would I take if I could take one in their prime?
Yeah.
I'm probably taking Cristiano Ronaldo.
Interesting.
Because I think he might not do all of those things.
Yeah, my take on it is Cristiano Ronaldo has worked hard for what he is today. I think Lionel Messi is gifted. I think there's a difference. I almost see them as Rafael Nadal and Roger Federer. Mm-hmm. You know, Federer was just gifted, and then Nadal put in a lot of work to be as awesome as that.
Yeah.
And I feel like Messi probably brings more to the whole game, and Ronaldo's just pure goal scoring machine.
Yeah.
And again, a lot of people forget what he was as a kid. Like, he was really a playmaker.
Yeah.
And he's played that way for a very long time.
Yeah.
And like, the version that we always start comparing with is the version we know for the last couple of years and the last 5 years and things like that. Like, the biggest difference for me, like where I settle the debate personally, is Cristiano Ronaldo has brought more to Portugal sports than Messi has brought to Argentina, because Argentina already had a leg up on that, and Cristiano Ronaldo brought more for Portugal. That's how I see it. Mm-hmm. And it could be wrong, but it's subjective. And then second, I do feel that what Cristiano Ronaldo has done it in multiple leagues, versus I think Lionel Messi probably drove a lot of it with Barcelona and in one league. And if you look at Cristiano Ronaldo's numbers when he was in La Liga, they were awesome.
Yeah.
And then the other leagues just don't function that way, and it's been a
I'll
different
look
role.
at it like this. I relate to Ronaldo more because I think Messi is more of like every day, every game, show up, brings you greatness.
Yep.
But if and when you need, at the most important moment in the biggest game, the thing to happen, Cristiano Ronaldo shows up. And that's how I would think about myself.
Interesting. I would
is that
almost
if we
think
were
of it
going to
the
go
other way.
Avenger mode,
Yeah.
like I'm putting myself there. That's how I thought about sports, whatever. Like if Gary had a project come out, like you needed a 2-week sprint for some project, pat me in. But if you need everyday consistency, like I'm going to find you the right person for that.
Fair. Respect. Because the only thing that I see differently is like, I think Messi has probably been better in knockout situations than Ronaldo. Like, I still remember that 2009 Champions League final where Messi towered and hit a header and scored against Ferdinand and Vidic. Like, I think it was like like there was, everything was going for us. We had Ronaldo. We had like, it's 2007, I think. I'm probably mixing up the years. It wasn't 8 because that was the Chelsea year.
Did Cristiano win a Champions League with Juventus?
No.
How many did he win with Real?
3 in a row. I think it was 3.
Didn't he win 5 Champions Leagues in a row?
No, 3.
In his life?
In a row, him? No, 3. 5 was the Ballon d'Or photo that I always have. Like, I think it's one of my favorite photos of
that he's
Ronaldo.
won 5 of them.
5, yeah. He's
all right. Well, there's a long-winded debate. I'm going to go Ronaldo.
Yeah,
and also
respect.
because Messi's cards are going insane.
Yeah.
And obviously he just won the World Cup. But I think from a clinical nature, you need a goal. You need someone like he's just a fucking savage. He's a savage.
That's the part. Like, there's no beating the fact that he's almost 41, if not 41. I don't exactly know, and he's still going.
Yeah.
And that's just there's so
I
much
don't know
respect.
Messi's age off the top of my
37.
head.
37. He's 4 years behind.
Yeah.
That's the whole game.
And then we were at the office late one day, probably 7:30, 8 o'clock. We're all sitting there working. Gary calls me into his office and was like, Matt's going to move into a new role. Would you want to be my assistant?